You ever notice something? The real ones, the ones with power, the ones who make things happen, they don't need to talk about it. They don't need to walk in the room and announce who they are. You just feel it. That's power. That's presence. That's silence working in its purest form. See, people think strength is about being the loudest, the boldest, the most aggressive in the room. But let me tell you something. Real strength doesn't need to be seen. It doesn't need to be explained. It just is. The moment you walk in and say nothing, but everybody turns their heads, that's power. The moment people feel your energy before you even open your mouth, that's presence. That's the kind of strength that makes people stop, that makes them wonder, who is this? Some of you are out here wasting your breath, trying to prove yourselves to people who don't even matter. You're explaining your plans, defending your dreams, making sure everybody knows what you're doing. Why? If you know who you are, if you know where you're going, why do you need to say it out loud? The greatest moves in history weren't announced. They were executed. Think about it. You ever see a lion roar before it hunts? No. It moves in silence. It stalks. It waits. And then, boom. It strikes. No warning, no noise, just action. That's how you win. That's how you keep them guessing. That's how you keep them confused. Because when they don't know what you're thinking, when they don't know what's coming next, they can't stop you. So stop feeling the need to prove yourself. Stop giving people the playbook to your next move. Stop explaining and start executing. Because the ones who talk the most, they usually have the least to show for it. But the ones who move in silence, they always have the last word. People expect you to react. That's the game. That's the trap. They push you, they doubt you, they criticize you. Not because they know you, not because they understand you, but because they want to control you. They want to see if they can get under your skin. They want to pull you into their world, their level, their chaos. And the moment you react, the moment you start explaining yourself, defending yourself, you've already lost. See, the world is filled with people waiting for a response. They want to see you break. They want to see you fold. They want to hear you say, no, no, you've got it all wrong. But listen to me. Every time you explain, every time you defend, every time you let their words dictate your next move, you're playing their game, not yours. You're letting them set the rules. And if you're playing by their rules, how do you expect to win? The strongest people, the real champions, they don't react, they don't argue, they don't explain, they observe, they smile, they nod, and then they keep moving. Because they understand something most people never will. Silence is control. When you stay silent, you stay in power. When you don't react, they start questioning themselves. They start wondering, did I get to him? Did she even hear me? Why isn't he fighting back? And that right there, that's when you've already won. You ever see a boxer in the ring smiling while his opponent is throwing punches? That's because he knows something they don't. He knows that anger, that emotion, that need to prove something, it's weakness. And weakness makes people reckless. So when doubters throw their words at you, don't swing back. Don't throw wild punches. Stand there, smirk. Let them wonder what you're thinking, because the moment they don't know what's coming next, they've already lost. So stop reacting, stop explaining, stop giving people the power to dictate your emotions. Let them talk, let them assume, let them doubt. And while they waste their energy trying to figure you out, you stay locked in, you stay focused. And when it's time, when the moment is right, you make your move. Not with words, not with explanations, but with results so loud the whole world has no choice but to listen. You don't have to tell people what you're about to do. You don't have to announce your every move. Just move. Just work. Just build. Because the more you talk, the more you give people the opportunity to doubt you, to block you, to slow you down. The more you explain, the more you invite opinions that were never meant to shape your destiny. You ever see a tree grow? It doesn't make noise. It doesn't scream, look at me. It just rises day by day, inch by inch, in silence, until one day it's towering over everything. That's how you have to move, in silence. Let your roots dig deep, let your work strengthen you, let your success become the only sound they hear. Some of you are letting too many people into your plans. You're sharing your vision with folks who don't have the capacity to see what you see. And every time you tell them your next move, you give them a chance to discourage you, to plant doubt, to interfere. Why? Why give them that power? Some things don't need to be said. Some moves don't need to be announced. Some victories don't need a press release. When you move in silence, you keep them guessing. You keep them wondering. And that right there, that's where the power is. Because when they don't know what you're up to, they don't know how to stop you, they don't know where to attack, they don't know when to expect the breakthrough. And by the time they see it, by the time they realize what you've built, it's already too late. So stop broadcasting your next step. Stop looking for approval. Stop seeking validation. Let your work speak. Let your results scream. Keep your head down. Stay locked in. And when the time is right, when you've put in the work, when you've earned it, let them see the masterpiece you've built. Not because you told them, but because they had no choice but to notice. Your energy is your power. Where you put it, who you give it to, how you spend it, it all matters. And some of you are out here wasting it on people who don't deserve a single second of your time. You're arguing with people who don't even believe in themselves. You're explaining your dreams to people who are too afraid to chase their own. You're trying to prove something to people who will never clap for you, no matter what you do. Why? Why are you handing over your energy to people who don't want to see you win? Why are you feeding into the negativity, the doubt, the small talk? Every second you spend explaining yourself, every moment you waste trying to convince someone who doesn't want to understand you, that's energy you could be using to build, to grow, to move forward. You ever seen a lion argue with sheep? No, because it doesn't need to. It knows who it is. It doesn't lower itself to the noise, to the chatter, to the distractions. It walks with power. It moves with purpose. It saves its energy for the hunt. That's how you need to be. Stop trying to change their minds. Stop trying to get them to see what you see. Some people are committed to misunderstanding you. Some people are never going to believe in you, no matter how much proof you give them. And that's fine. That's their problem, not yours. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them assume. You stay quiet. You stay focused. Because while they're busy running their mouths, you'll be running your race. While they're wasting their time trying to pull you down, you'll be using yours to rise. And when you finally make it, when the results speak so loudly that they have no choice but to see you, you won't even have to say a word. Because by then, the work will have spoken for itself. And success doesn't need a speech, doesn't need an announcement, doesn't need a warning. It just happens. And when it does, when the work has been done, when the sacrifices have been made, when the results are standing tall for the world to see, there's nothing left to say. The proof is right there. The greatest doers in history didn't waste their time explaining what they were about to do. They didn't sit around debating their plans, asking for permission, or looking for validation. They worked, they built, they executed. And when the world finally saw what they had created, it was too late for doubt, too late for criticism, because the results were undeniable. So, lesson number 8. Michael Jordan didn't tell people he was about to be the greatest basketball player of all time. He just showed up, game after game, and dominated. Steve Jobs didn't go around explaining why Apple was going to change the world. He just created products that spoke louder than any words ever could. Beyoncé doesn't argue with critics. She just drops the album, walks away, and lets the world react. That's how you need to move. Let your work do the talking. Let your success be your response. When people doubt you, when they question your dreams, when they tell you you can't do it, don't waste your breath trying to prove them wrong with words. Show them with the results, show them with the discipline, show them with the consistency, the progress, the undeniable proof that what you said you would do, you did. You don't have to convince anybody of your greatness. You don't have to explain why you're different, why you're built for this, why you're going to make it. Just put in the work, stay quiet, stay focused. And when it's time, when the work is done, when you've reached that mountaintop, You won't have to say a single word, because the results will speak so loudly they won't need to be said. 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 You ever notice how people get nervous when they don't know what you're thinking? When they can't figure you out? When they don't know your next move? That's power. That's control. Because when people don't know what's coming, they can't prepare for it. They can't block it. They can't stop it. See, most people live in a world of noise. They talk too much. They gossip. They brag. They announce their every move before they even take the first step. And because of that, they give the world a chance to stop them before they even get started. But when you move in silence, when you work without broadcasting, when you grind without seeking attention, you create an energy that makes people uncomfortable because they don't know what to expect. They don't know whether to fear you, doubt you, or respect you. Think about a chess match. The most dangerous player isn't the one who moves too quickly, who talks too much, who reacts emotionally. It's the one who sits back, studies the board, and makes the right move at the right time without a word. That's the player that wins. That's the one that keeps their opponent guessing, keeps them second-guessing every move, keeps them nervous. That's how you have to operate in life. Keep them wondering, keep them questioning, make them uncomfortable with how calm you are, with how focused you stay, with how little you explain yourself. Because the moment they start doubting, the moment they start trying to figure you out, that's when you've already won. So let them whisper, let them assume, let them try to guess what's on your mind. Meanwhile, you keep working, you keep pushing, and when you finally make your move, when you finally show them what you've been building, it'll be too late for them to stop you, because by then, the checkmate has already been played. There's an old saying, don't tell me what you're going to do, show me what you've done. Because words are cheap. Anybody can talk about success. Anybody can say they're going to be great. Anybody can promise the world that they're built for something bigger. But the ones who truly make it, they don't waste time talking. They just do the work. They show up. They put in the hours. And when it's time, they deliver. And when no announcements, no explanations, just results. See, people respect action. They respect discipline. They respect consistency. But what they don't respect, empty words. Promises with no follow-through, big dreams with no execution. That's why the greatest in the game don't waste their breath trying to convince people who they are. They let their work speak. Look at Kobe Bryant. He didn't walk into the gym telling people he was the hardest worker in the game. He just put in the hours, before practice, after practice, while everybody else was sleeping. And when the lights came on, when it was time to perform, the results spoke so loud that nobody could question it. That's how you need to move. Stop telling people what you're about to do. Stop looking for applause before you've even earned it. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't have your vision. Just do the work. Just stay locked in. Just put in the hours when nobody's watching. And when the time is right, when you've built yourself into something undeniable, you won't have to say a word. Because when results speak, nobody questions. When results speak, doubt disappears. When results speak, the world listens. So be quiet, be focused, be relentless, and when the moment comes, when you've done what you said you would, stand back, let them watch, and let the results say everything that needs to be said. Distractions are everywhere, noise is everywhere, people pulling you left and right, opinions coming from every direction, voices telling you what you should do, how you should do it, and why you'll never make it. But listen to me. None of that matters. None of that deserves your attention. The only thing that matters, the mission, the goal, the dream that's been planted inside you, that's where your focus needs to be. See, too many people get caught up in the noise. They start listening to the doubters, the critics, the ones who ain't never built nothing in their lives but always got something to say. And before they know it, they're off track. They're defending themselves, explaining their vision, trying to convince people who were never meant to see what they see. And in doing all that, they waste time, they waste energy, they slow themselves down. But the ones who make it, the ones who truly rise, they don't entertain distractions. They don't explain themselves. They don't let outside voices shake them. They stay locked in. They wake up every morning with one thing on their mind: progress. And they put in the work day in and day out without needing to announce it, without needing applause, without looking for validation. Think about a race. A runner doesn't stop in the middle of the track to argue with the people in the stands. A runner doesn't slow down to explain why they're running the way they are. No. They keep their eyes forward, their legs moving, their breath steady, because the finish line is all that matters. That's how you have to move. Let them talk. Let them criticize. Let them misunderstand you. None of that is your concern. Your concern is your purpose. Your concern is your growth. Your concern is making sure that every step you take is pushing you closer to that goal. So block out the noise, cut off the distractions, keep your head down and your faith up. And when it's all said and done, when you've reached the place you were meant to be, the same people who doubted you will be the ones asking how you did it. And by then, you won't even have to answer, because the results will say it all. They expect you to break. They expect you to fold under pressure. They expect you to get frustrated, to start explaining yourself, to react emotionally. But the moment you do that, the moment you let their words, their doubt, their negativity pull you into their game, you've already lost. Because now you're moving on their terms, not yours. See, silence isn't just about not speaking, it's about control. It's about discipline. It's about making sure that no one has the power to shake you, to pull you off your path, to make you question yourself. Because the moment you start explaining, defending, reacting, you're giving them control. And you're too strong for that. You're too focused for that. You've worked too hard for that. Think about the greats, the legends. You ever see them waste time arguing with doubters? You ever see them sit down and try to explain why they're built different? No, because they know who they are. They know where they're going. And they know that the only response that truly matters, the only response that shuts everybody up, Tom Brady didn't waste time arguing with people who said he wasn't good enough. He just kept winning rings. Serena Williams didn't go back and forth with critics. She just kept dominating. Elon Musk, Oprah, Jay-Z, none of them spent time explaining why they were going to win. They just won. And when the world finally woke up, when the doubters finally realized what they had built, that's how you need to move. Calm, focused, unshaken. When people try to get in your head, when they throw negativity your way, when they try to make you doubt yourself, don't react, don't explain, don't defend. Just keep working, keep building, keep proving them wrong, not with words, but with action. Because the strongest one in the room is never the loudest. The strongest one in the room is the one who doesn't need to say a word, the one whose presence alone demands respect, the one who, no matter what's thrown at them, stays locked in, stays focused, and keeps moving forward. And when the dust settles, when the results are in, when success speaks louder than any words ever could, those same people who doubted you, who questioned you, who laughed at you, they'll be the ones left speechless. At the end of the day, you don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe them your energy. You don't owe them your emotions. What you owe yourself, what you owe your future, is discipline, is focus, is the ability to walk into any room, face any challenge, and move with a quiet confidence that shakes the very ground you walk on. Let them talk. Let them assume, let them doubt. That's not your business. Your business is the work. Your business is the grind. Your business is showing up every single day, putting in the effort, and letting your success be the only sound they hear. Because when you move in silence, when you stay locked in, when you don't waste time explaining yourself, you do something powerful. You make them uncomfortable. You make them uncomfortable. You make them wonder. You make them question themselves. And then, one day, when they least expect it, you hit them with the only response that matters, the results, the success, the moment when everything you've been working for finally speaks for itself, so loud, so undeniable, that they have no choice but to respect you. So stop announcing, stop explaining, stop seeking validation from people who were never meant to understand your vision. Keep your head down, stay locked in, and when the time is right, when the work is done, let them see what you've built, let them witness your greatness. And when they ask, how did you do it? You just smile. Because the truth is, you never had to say a word.